So after this lesson, you should be able to multiply various types of fractions. So for example, we need to find the product of 2/3 and 1/5. So in multiplying fractions, the rule is very easy. You just need to multiply the two numerators and you just need to multiply the two denominators. And then you convert that into lowest form. Okay, so for example here, you only need to multiply 2 and 1. So you have 2 here over, okay, so 3 times 5 gives you 15. Okay, so 2 over 15 is already considered to be a fraction in its lowest term or simplest form. So therefore, this is your final answer. Okay, so for example number 2, we have here 5/8 times 4 over 10. So again, applying the rule of multiplying fractions, so we will multiply 5 times 4 gives you 20. And 8 times 10 gives you 80. So if we will divide both of them by 20, okay, so since their common factor is 20, so we have here 1 over 4. Okay, so 20 divided by 20 is 1, 80 divided by 20 is 4. So you have 1/4. Okay, so this is now your final answer. There's also another method of doing this. So if you will go back to your given, all you need to do is just to simplify this by using the GCF. So here you have 5 and 10. We can divide both by 5. So 5 divided by 5 gives you 1. 10 divided by 5 gives you 2. And then here for 4 and 8, their common factor is 4. So you have here 4 divided by 4 gives you 1. And then 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. Okay, so now we will multiply, okay, the numerator. So you have 1 over 2 times 2 gives you 4. There you go. So you just got the same answer, although you use different solutions. Now in example number 3, you have a mixed form multiplied by a proper fraction. So to multiply this, you need to convert the mixed form first into an improper fraction. So you have 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1. That gives you 11 over 5. Okay? Times 5 over 7. Okay, again, so let's try to make this simple by using the method that I showed you earlier. Okay, so here, you can already cancel out 5. Okay, so whenever you see a number appearing in the numerator and another one appearing in the denominator, you can cancel that out. Why? Because when you have 5 over 5, this is just equal to 1. Okay, so now you have here, just copy. Okay, so you now have 11 over 7. Okay, and if we simplify this into mixed form, you now have 1. Okay, because 11 over 7 is 1. And then 11 minus 7 gives you 4. Copy the denominator of 7. Okay, there you go. So this is now your final answer. 1 and 4 over 7. In example number 4, we have 1 over 9 times 27 over 50. Okay, so again, using the method that I've shown you earlier, we can simplify this first. So 27 divided by 9 is 3, and then 9 divided by 9 is 1. Okay, so since their common factor is 9. So when you multiply that, you now have 1 times 3 gives you 3, and then 1 times 50 gives you 50. So this one is already considered as a fraction in its lowest form. So therefore, the final answer is 3 over 50. So after this lesson, you should be able to divide various types of fractions. So for example number 1, we have 4 over 7 divided by 1 over 8. Okay, so to solve this, okay, so we first need to get the reciprocal. Okay, get the reciprocal of this second fraction. Okay, so how do we get the reciprocal? So the reciprocal is simply the reverse of the two. So you just need to switch places with the numerator and the denominator. So 7 over 8 becomes 8 over 7. Okay, so that is the reciprocal. And then we proceed to multiplication. Okay, so now I have here 4 over 7 times the reciprocal. So that's 8 over 7. Okay, so now we have 4 times 8 gives you 32. And 7 times 7 gives you 49. Okay, so there's no common factor between 32 and 49. So therefore, this one is already considered as the fraction in its lowest form. Okay, so therefore, the final answer is 32 over 49. Okay, so in example number 2, we have 4 over 11 divided by 2 over 22. Okay, so again, we first multiply this fraction. So that's 4 over 11 times the reciprocal of this fraction. So you have 22 over 2. Okay, so we first simplify before we proceed with multiplication. So common factor of 4 and 2 is 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then common factor between 11 and 22 is 11. So 11 divided by 11 is 1. 22 divided by 11 is 2. Okay, so now we proceed with multiplication. So 2 times 2 gives you 4. And then 1 times 1 gives you 1. Okay, so remember that if you have a fraction whose denominator is 1, we can just simplify the fraction as a whole number. Okay, so therefore here, the final answer is 4. So in example number 3, we have 2 and 2 ninths divided by 1 over 27. So again, you have a mixed fraction here. So we need to convert this first into an improper fraction. So 9 times 2 gives you 18 plus 2. So that's 20. Okay, over 9. Times the reciprocal of 1 over 27 gives you 27 over 1. Okay, so let's try to simplify here first. So 9 and 27, common factor is 9. So 9 divided by 9 gives you 1. 27 divided by 9 gives you 3. Okay, so then we now proceed with multiplication. So 20 times 3 gives you 60. Over 1 times 1 gives you 1. Okay, so again, this one gives you a whole number. Okay, so the final answer is 60. So in example number 4, this is just similar to our previous example. So again, we first convert 1 and 3/5 into a mixed fraction. So here you have 8 over 5. Okay, because you have 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 gives you 8. Okay, then times, okay, the reciprocal of 6 over 15 is 15 over 6. Okay, so let's identify if we can simplify something here. So 8 and 6 common factor is 2. So we can divide this by 2. So this gives you 4. And then 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. Then 5 and 15, their common factor is 5. So we can have 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 gives you 3. Okay, so now let's proceed with multiplication. So 4 times 3 gives you 12 over 1 times 3 gives you 3. Okay, so 12 over 3, okay, so if we simplify that, this is just equal to 4. Okay, so then this is your final answer. So after this lesson, you should be able to convert fractions to decimals and convert fractions to percent. Okay, so here we have example number 1. We need to convert 9 over 10 into a decimal. So this is where you'll be using your calculator. So that would come in handy here. So you can have here, to convert this into decimal, you simply need to divide the numerator by the denominator. Okay, so that's 9 divided by 10. So on using your calculator, that will give you 0.9. So this is your final answer. So in example number 2, we have 15 over 8. Okay, so again, to convert this into a decimal, all you need to do is to divide the numerator by the denominator. So now you have 15 divided by 8. So in your calculator, this one will give you an answer of 1.875. Okay, so this is now the decimal form of the fraction. Okay, here, so in example number 3, you have 2 and 1/2. So how do we convert this into a decimal? There are two ways of converting this. I'm going to show you the first way. So the first way is to convert this first into an improper fraction. So you have 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, that gives you 5. So 5 over 2. So using your calculator, so that's 5 divided by 2 will give you 2.5. Okay. So another method is this. You can just simply, okay, get the decimal form of the improper fraction. Okay. So 1 divided by 2. Okay. So 1 divided by 2 gives you 0.5. And then you you add that to your whole number. So that becomes 2 plus, okay, 0.5. Okay. So this becomes 2.5. So again, you just use different solutions but still arrive at the same answer. Okay, so this time we will convert fractions into percent. Okay, so we have here 3 over 19. Okay, so using your calculator, okay, again, so this one gives you, okay, so 3 divided by 19 is equal to, okay, so using your calculator, you're gonna get a very long decimal here. So I just rounded it off, so you'll get 0.16. Okay, but that's actually 0.1578. Okay, so it's a long decimal, so just rounded it off. So now to convert this into a percent, okay, so all you need to do is to multiply this, okay, from 0.16. To convert to percent, you multiply this to 100. Okay, 100. Okay, so therefore, this one now becomes 16. Okay, so and then instead of 100 here, you now change it to a sign. Okay, so this is 16%. Okay, actually the word percent, okay, the word percent means per 100. Okay, per 100. Okay, so therefore here you have the sign, the symbol actually of percent. It's just like your 100, except that you put the 1 as a slash here, and then here's the 2 zeros. Okay, so there you go. So 3 over 19 in percent form, that is 16%. Okay, so in example number 2, again, we need to convert 1/4 into percent. Okay, so using the same procedure, so again, we divide first 1 over 4. So that's 1 divided by 4 gives you 0.25 on your calculator. So convert this to decimal first, and then you convert this to percent by multiplying 0.25 by 100. And you have 25%. So this is your final answer. There you go. Okay, so 1/4 is equivalent to 25%. Okay, so in example number 3, we need to convert 2 and 1/3 into percent. Okay, so just like what we did for the converting of fractions into decimals with mixed forms, so we can also express this first as an improper fraction. So you have 3 times 2 gives you 6 plus 1, that gives you 7 over 3. Okay, so using your calculator, 7 divided by 3 gives you 2.33. Okay, so to convert this into a percent, so that's 2.33 times 100. So to convert everything to percent, you just simply have to multiply that by 100. Okay, so therefore, this one becomes 233%. Is this possible? Yes, 100% is not just the maximum. Okay, so it can be beyond that. Okay, so with this, we can also have another solution. So the other solution is that, okay, just like what I have shown you earlier. So you can have 2 plus, okay, convert 1 over 3 into, or 1/3 into decimal. So that's 1 divided by 3 gives you 0.33. Okay, so you can now have here 2.33. And again, if you multiply this by 100, you will still get the same answer of 233%.